Yes.
Sorry, sir. You just mentioned the Chinese and the Russians and all
And the
these people,
Libyans.
and Libya and all these
Right.
people coming, promising aid to the ANC and helping them to liberate the oppressed. I want to come to a point here that is, do you expect the same thing to happen in the Middle East? A country like Russia with an army of about 400 million. It's a very strong army, I know about them. And I also know that there's about 80 to 90% of their soldiers is Muslim.
Yes.
About 80 to 90% of the Russian army soldiers is Muslim. Because there are a lot of Muslims staying in Russia. And I've learned, as you might possibly know, that in the book of Ezekiel, the prophet prophesies about the Russian army coming up against Israel, assisting the Arab nations surrounding Israel to overpower, to, in actual fact, win the war they many years want to win. That is to get Israel out of, to get the Jews out of Israel. What I'm saying, Mr. Deedat, is this. Is that war going to happen? You know that Ezekiel in the chapter 38 prophesies about that. Is that war going to happen? Do you expect America, as you have just said, to intervene and help the Israelis in that war?
You see, my son, I don't live in false hopes. These prophecies. People have been waiting for Jesus Christ to come. Do you know that? For 2,000 years. It was any time now. He said, before you go over the cities of Israel, I'll be back. He's telling his disciples, when they persecute you in one city, flee into another. And they persecuted, flee into another. And before you go over the cities of Israel, I'll be back. And they fled, and they fled, and they died, and they rotted in their graves. 2,000 years have gone, and it still hasn't come yet. So, I don't believe in waiting with open mouth for somebody to come along and pull the chestnut out of the fire for you. We have to learn to do it ourselves, to get the things ourselves. So, time will come, but we don't sit on prophecies. See, the Christian was waiting and still waiting, 2,000 years now, for Jesus Christ. He said, before you go over, I'll be back. So, same thing happened to the Jews in the book of Exodus. God speaks to them. He says, I declare to you this day that you shall surely perish. You shall not live long in the land which you are going over the Jordan to cross and to conquer. You will not live long in that land. That's your Bible. That's a prophecy. But I said, tell the Muslims, I said, no, don't wait on that. You have to learn to get the things that you want. You have to pay for it. You have to sweat for it. Don't wait for things to happen from heaven, because heaven doesn't work that way. It wants you to sweat, and God will give you the reward.